I broke it. I broke it good-ish. But, it caught some pretty freaking crazy air before I broke it. So, yeah. We got Gord right on. I don't know if Aaron's making it tonight. So, I'm just going to show you guys what's going on here. And I'd show you guys the carnage from my little play session. It appears I broke the pin right here. She's broken. So let's tear in this sucker and see what we got going on. Figure out what broke. Body's in meh shape. I've stoved it in a little bit on the front a few times. I did take a suggestion from one of the viewers and cut this out on the front so it didn't get caught in anymore. Body's in good shape. Well, there's Aaron. It's Adam. Hey, man.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Oh, no.
Bigger.
So you went to Wayne's.
I did. Big jump. Big jump. So first thing I'm going to do here, I guess, is start figuring out what I broke. Well, I know what I broke. It's just the pin, I think. I'm just trying to check and make sure I didn't break the... If I didn't break the A-arm as well, then I might be in good shape here.
Might just flex and the pin came out?
Hey?
Did flex and the pin came out, or what's going on there?
No, the pin, it's broken. I'll show you guys here. Thank you guys. You look in here. You see it's kind of broken there.
Yeah.
It's sharp and pointy-ish and not very nice feeling. As you can see, the rest of the chassis had a little bit of
abuse.
A little. the open spur gear concept.
Yeah.
Not a fan. There's I've had rocks and debris and stuff get caught in here, make a hell of a racket. Then it goes away. But yeah.
Well, if that was closed in, the stuff would pile in the bottom, and then yeah.
Well, maybe. I don't know if it would. I could see maybe, but I think for a basher platform, it's kind of not really the way I want it to be. But anyways, okay, so of course it's spinning around like this and loose because the dog bone came out when the A-arm went. So, and this literally just happened about 2 hours ago. Up until then, I've actually been doing pretty decent with this thing. I haven't had a bunch of issues or things breaking on it and stuff like that. So
had to go do something silly.
Had to go do something silly. You know how that is, right? You always got to do something silly. Now, I did do a pipe run earlier.
A pipe run?
A pipe run, yeah. It was on the weekend. It was more shenanigans I got into with Wayne. I've discovered Wayne's a bad influence. Actually, he's not really that bad. But I have a tendency to do things that I shouldn't do when I go out with him.
Tell me more about this pipe run.
Well, so I found, the construction culvert type pipes that they have.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I went inside one of those.
He did the
this. And, well, let's just say this skid plate is down. There were sparks coming. And this one had sparks coming so bad, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get these screws out today. So, yeah,
You one of these bad boys.
I have one of those bad boys somewhere. See, I have this small problem. My wife comes in here and she does her vinyl stuff. And she steals anything that looks like that, that's a pick shape,
You easily
for
pick up
reading
the.
her vinyl.
Yeah.
So now I gotta go over there and see where she stole it. See if it's on the bench still. Hope it is.
And did you find it?
Not yet. I have no idea where half this crap even is.
It's gone.
I did find a knife. I found an X-Acto knife I could use to pick some of this dirt out of here, so I'll try that. So first I gotta pull this apart and just verify what parts I need to order. And then after that, I'm gonna start getting into the rest of this thing. So this has had 3 weeks. I think we've had it for almost 3 weeks now. I think I've had 6 good solid runs with it, I think. In various places. I didn't take it. I have not taken it to a skate park and done anything like that. Because that's not my kind of running.
Are you trying to run it like a normal person?
Well, I wanted to run it like somebody that's going to go take it to a gravel pit and run it like a basher. Probably would. We haven't taken it to the actual track yet to run it, which that's coming. Just haven't done it yet. Oh, I need. Oh, yeah. Like you can launch it. You could take it to a skate park and launch it 50 feet in the air and break it right off the bat. Sure. If you want to. I didn't. I wanted to run it and run it hard.
But who does that? Like, I don't know. Like a normal person. No one like a YouTuber. But if I spent $1,100 Canadian for that thing, plus batteries, plus everything else, that's quite the investment.
So you're asking who would do that?
Like, I know some people got lots of money, but a person that doesn't have too much money, they save up, they buy this thing. I don't know. I just don't.
You don't see the appeal in it?
Yeah. Like for myself, if I was gonna buy that, I don't think I'd want to launch it.
Well, like I bought this, and oh right, there's 2 more screws in there. I got to dig out. It looks like smooth plastic, but it's actually not. It's there's dirt in there, and there's a screw that I got to pull out. So this is, holy man, there's a lot of dirt in there. I don't run cars like that. I don't take them to skate parks and beat the living hell out of them much. I mean, I have done it with my X-Max because, well, Tim was with me. Another guy has a bad influence on me.
Bad influence on you.
He's like, well, I take mine to the park all the time. I'm like, okay, fine. You can do it. I can too.
The part that he left out was he breaks something every time.
Yeah,
like I break it.
I can break my X-Max.
Something gives some throttle.
I have a habit of breaking my X-Max in about 15 minutes every time I take it out. Unless I'm like deliberately going easy on it. But I cannot get through a battery pack. I cannot get through a full charge with that truck without something breaking. So for all the guys that talk about how tough they are and how great they are, okay, sure. Maybe you have better luck with it. Maybe you take it too easy. Maybe you don't really have a basher attitude.
You mean the breaker attitude?
Yeah. But yeah, the first time I went out with my Max, I blew the shock apart, broke the shock shaft. Haven't done any of that stuff to this. This is the first major break I've had on this, and 5-6 battery packs at least. 6S every time. Look at that wear. She's pretty worn. It's not. It's
Well, when you're getting it out inside of a barrel,
it's not supposed to be that thin at the front either, right?
that's gonna.
So
I'm thinking you needed a bigger barrel, bigger circumference.
probably I did, yeah. But I'll work with what I got.
Seemed
Okay,
like
so
a good idea at the time.
the arm is busted.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah. So I'm going to pull this apart and actually go through it a bit here. I'm going to also pull apart some of the shocks. Well, one of the shocks at least. I'm going to open it up. I want to see what the shock fluid looks like after beating on it for as long as we have been here.
I'm thinking you want to pump it a couple times, get that dirt sediment from the bottom to rise up.
Well, I'm going to completely change out the shock fluid in them anyways, so
Yeah.
I'll pour it into a cup or something and see what it looks like. Yeah, let's just take this all out and run it and get it all dirty before we go decide to tear it apart.
Good idea.
The shocks don't sound or feel like they're full of air at all. And pop that guy off there. Now, I have noticed I've got a little bit of wear going on in a few spots that I'm not overly impressed with. I think that the steering servo may have calved ish. Like it feels like there's a lot of wobbliness on the top. So I'm going to open that up too and take a look and see what we've actually done to it. That's a small one. Oh, I just had that in my hand. Where'd I put it? Oh, went underneath the keyboard. So what are you wrenching on?
I didn't get my stuff together, so I'm not wrenching on anything right now.
You're just watching me?
So I'll watch you for a bit.
So much pressure.
Ask some dumb questions and see what happens,
Yeah. All right, so this isn't the most efficient way of taking it apart, but there you can see the this is broken in here. So it tore out.
Oh, wow.
Right. And the pin. Holy man.
That's probably not going to come out.
It's bent and full of dirt.
Good times.
There you go. Yeah, so it is a solid pin all the way through. And there's the other half of it is over here. So yeah, we broke that. Doop, doop.
Nice.
All broken. Got a little bit of a bend to it, not too much. I'm quite surprised that there's that much dirt in it because it's a sealed piece.
That dirt gets everywhere.
That
We
dirt
don't
gets everywhere.
still a dirt, that sediment dirt in there. And how does that get through those seals? You know, it's got a rubber seal on it.
Yeah. Okay, so this A-arm is toast. So I'm just going to pull the rest of this one apart. And this will be the shock that I'm going to pull apart for today. Now, I don't know. I've read some comments and some people who said that they think that this is got very tight tolerances and they're impressed with the tolerances and everything on it. I'm not. I'm finding the front wheels, that's pretty sloppy. Right? And that is not loose bolts or pins or anything. That is literally the bearings inside that are loose. There's a little bit of play here that you're seeing as well, but mostly That is the where the axle's going through the hub and the bearings. There's a fair bit of play there. So I'm not super impressed with that.
But you're not surprised at the same time, or what?
No, I'm not surprised either. I was kind of expecting it with this style of setup. I was expecting it because there's no adjustability to it at all. You're not going to adjust it. It's either going to be tight and have tolerance or not. And I found that I got to grab my bag. I left my bag upstairs, and it's got the wrench for taking the wheel nuts off.
Of course he did.
Oh, nuts. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just there's some stuff that's a little sloppy on it. I've had all of these plastic shafts seem to be holding up okay. I haven't broken any of these, right? But I'll pull this apart a little better here in a second. I just got to grab my wrench. I have not broken a dog bone yet. I've seen a lot of people talking about that and complaining that the dog bones are weak. Well, if you land on one wheel full throttle, you're probably going to break a dog bone. I don't care what size they are. So
sometimes the plastic ones are better because they got a little give to them, eh?
Yeah, plastic ones have a little bit of give. We were running the max at the same time as we were doing this too. I gotta grab the wrench. I'll be right back.
Grab the wrench. Let's see what we got for comments. Not sure if I can see them all.
Okay. Wrenchy poo time. Get my pliers. Yeah, like I got some pretty cool footage. She built a jump in his backyard. A big jump. But I can't tell you where it is. I'm under explicit instructions not to divulge the location. But I can tell you it is in Canada.
How big did he make this jump?
I'm going to say it's probably 15 to 20 feet tall. Basically a cut bank. It's basically a cut bank that he cleaned up the bottom to it.
A little ramp for it.
Yeah. He basically took his tractor and he smoothed it out. So you can go way back on the driveway and wind her up and just and you launch.
No landing ramp, is there?
Well, so it goes into this cut bank.
Yeah.
And then it goes up onto a flat field that kind of inclines up slowly. So you're landing on grass up top. So you're not doing the full drop back down, but you are pretty much doing a flat landing. But it's not like if you were at a skate park or something and you jump it off of like if you jump it in a skate park, you're going to come back down to basically the beginning of the jump.
Yeah.
You're launching.
Going up and down.
Yeah. Like a step up. But the approach of it. You guys want to see the tires? Like, we've been running this pretty hard. The tires are not. A little bit, but it's not actually separating. It's just
a little dab, eh?
use a little dab, but I'm just going to run them till they blow apart. I'm not finding any cracks or anything in any of the rims. The plastic is kind of pliable on these ones,
yeah.
so they're not
Takes
as
a
rigid
piece.
as some of the others, right? The center hub seems to be fine. Not seeing any damage in there. I'm not seeing any cracks on any of the spokes for these wheels. For that wheel in particular. But you see this?
Hold the steering rack and do it.
Yeah,
Or is
look,
it moving? Let's see.
it's moving in the servo.
Oh,
See all that playing up there?
that's gonna be some gears.
You know, like if I hold this firm, there's a little bit of play in here.
Yeah.
Let me get this so you guys can see it a bit better here. Right? Turning it down a bit. Okay, so right about here, you see there's a little bit of play in this, right in this joint here is fairly solid, but the end here has a bunch of play in here.
Yeah.
So hold this, there's play. Not really anything there. The main link going from the knuckle to is solid. So that's been good. And I've been running this over like whoops and hard, rough terrain to actually see the action of the suspension and see what it's doing, not just launching it and launching it and launching it. So I did find near the end of running it pretty hard that it was starting to, it wasn't wheeling as easy as it does, because I think the viscosity of the diff fluid in the middle from getting temperature in it, getting some heat in it,
Yeah.
it would start to not want to wheelie it up as easy.
Thinning out a bit.
Yeah, thinning it out a bit. Now I know, like, there's a ton of guys that are going out there and right off the bat they're replacing these steering servos right away. I've said this before. I'm not going to do that. I am going to wait for a little bit here and see if they come out with a. Okay, so the screw head is not loose, so that is definitely the bearing in the top of the servo.
Classic. Is that a plastic case on that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if the servo's toast, well, maybe I'll end up having to change it out. I don't know. I'm just going to thread this back in here for now. But yeah, that's how much plays in there. It's quite a bit of play. I know everybody complains about how slow these servos are, and yeah, it is slow. I'm not denying that it's slow. But I want to try it out. Like I said, I want to try it because this is rated as a high voltage servo. I want to see what it runs like at higher voltage. So I want to put the Traxxas BEC system in this, which I think we might have one. And I'm looking at the way the case is made on here. I might be able to just fit it in there without an issue, but I haven't opened any of that up yet at all. So after this rebuild, because I now put in 3 weeks of ripping around with this thing, now it's time to start doing a few little modifications. I wanted to see how it ran stock first for a while. And then now I got a pretty good idea how it works. So now I want to do a few changes to it and then make some judgments from there. I don't know if you guys can see this.
I can hear a little squeakiness in there.
Well, let me turn on the light here. Get some light bulbs going in here. Okay, see this nut down here. So there's a thread, there's a finger nut there, and then there's an actual nut.
Yeah.
When I move this, see that looseness?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's on the side that's got your servo saver tension is there, right?
Yeah. So that's supposed to be there to be like the double nut.
The other side doesn't have anything. Yeah, right. So that's loose. And I'm not bagging them for this. I mean, I did not go through this truck and do any Loctiting or anything on the entire truck. Literally, when I bought it, when we got it, I made sure the wheel nuts were tight because that's something I have a problem with. Usually, the wheel nuts aren't tight, and then it disappears.
It almost looks like that catches on that plate, like the side of the nut hits the side of
Yeah,
the
it looks
plate,
like that's the only thing that's stopping it from spinning around over and over and over. Eh?
and that's probably what loosened it off. Is
Might have been,
turning
yeah.
and hitting it.
Or when they tightened it down, maybe they tightened it down and it was tightened down onto the plate, and it wasn't actually snug down onto the chassis because the plate has a little ridge.
Yeah, on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you that's what loosened it.
So yeah, that's kind of a bit of a hum.
It's a fun one to fix.
Right. Something I'm going to need to fix. So okay, so we got that part. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to open up the steering servo and see what's going on with it because that shaft, like I can even lift this up and down a bit. Yeah. Okay. What else do you want to see?
Open that chalk up. I want to see the
You want me to open
dirtiness.
the top right now?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna finish pulling this apart first so that you guys can see what I'm talking about with play and this hub. And mine has had play in the hub from the day we got it. So looking to see if there's any cracks in here at all. I don't know if you guys are seeing any cracks that I don't see, but the rubber's staying on for the most part. It's staying on. It's not peeling off like my X-Max tires are. Okay. I can't. I'm just. I never really realized how thin that was getting there. So I'm going to replace that, and I'm going to replace the 4 screws or the 3 screws because well, there's not much left to the head.
Got warmed down a bit.
Warm down.
This brush looks pretty cool though.
Yeah. Note to self: if you want to get the cool shot of ripping around inside this concrete pipe, be ready to replace a bunch of hardware. Okay, so this arm is broken. For any of you guys that are just tuning in, this arm broke. It ripped out here. Come on, zoom in. It ripped out here. It's pulled out. It's supposed to look like that on that side. It is a solid pin that goes all the way through, right? But it ripped out. I landed her hard, and I broke the big pin. So that's the only thing I've actually physically broke on this so far. So that's a good thing. Now, I did have these apart the first week that I got it there. I took it apart and showed you guys these axle hubs or these hubs and stuff.
Yeah, you did. So that part I would look at those hubs, make sure they didn't have any cracks in them either.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is pretty soft. This is that inner piece that you can buy replaceable. It almost feels like it feels like Rubbermaid. It feels like Rubbermaid. It's very rubbery. Like there's nothing to it. So yeah, this one, the ends are still holding together fine. They're not broken here at all. There's no cracks or fatigue anywhere in there. There is quite a bit of abrasion in here though from rocks and stuff. I was running it in kind of a crush graveled pit quite a bit a few days ago. So that's going to be part of the reason why it seems to be very, yeah. I gotta pull these right apart so you guys can see. Because I was disappointed with the amount of slop I find there is in this.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised with that when I came over to the RC World. I bought my first Slash. It was used, and I said, "Oh, this is all loose. I bought all brand new stuff. Put it all in there."
It was still loose.
Funny thing, I'm like, but new drive shafts, new bearings, new hubs. Because that was really hard.
The collars are holding together good. They're not crushed or wearing weird, and I'm not seeing any cracks or anything. I'll just pop these right up. So these pop in here. Do. There's no unusual cracks or fatigue or anything in the C hubs, so that's good. But this, it's really hard to. I don't know if this is going to give you good enough, but there's a whole bunch of play in here. You see that?
Oh yeah,
a lot of play.
you need
And
a shim in there.
On this side, it's very sloppy up and down. So it doesn't look as bad here right now, but this little bit of slop when you put the wheel on it translate into a whole lot. Like I'm talking almost a quarter inch of wheel play like this on the wheel. But the pins and everything in there, you want to look inside. That's the front CV. I'm not seeing any cracks or fatigue in that one yet. And this is the side I broke. This is the side I came down on pretty hard. And the entire hub itself is pretty solid. I mean, it's like a solid block almost, right? So I can't see it breaking very easily. I don't know if I have the right wrench to pull that one apart right now. No, I don't. I'm not going to pull that apart right now, but I need, I think it's a 3 or 4 mil to get down inside here to pull this out. Yeah, bigger than that one. No, maybe it's not. There we go. There we go. I just got to hold it. Oh, that one's in there.
Do you have the wrench? Does that wrench have a hole in the middle?
Yep. I like using my fancy multi-tool. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but you're scoring the shaft.
Oh, whatever. If you've seen the stuff I've been driving it through, you wouldn't think about that being.
Or your shock pliers would be good for that too.
They would be. You're right. So, okay. Maybe you guys can see this now. I don't know if I can get. There's quite a bit of play. A lot of play, and you hear that?
Yeah. Those sound just mint.
Well, I've oiled them. I did do that because I washed it one day, and then I thought to myself, man, my bearings are all going to seize up, and they'll be like the freaking Maxes, where they would seize up, and then they'd heat up so bad.
Melt some plastic.
Not hearing anything in this one. It's this one.
There it is.
Yeah, it's this one. So this is the outer bearing. Quite a bit of dirt in it. Yeah, we'll leave those there. I have to look them up and see if I have that size bearing kicking around anywhere. Although it's not really that big of a deal because I got to replace this dude. And the pin. And I'm sure in typical Traxxas fashion, this will not come in a package of 2. It'll be a package of every freaking pin for the entire truck.
Yeah, probably 8 of them.
8 of them or whatever. Yeah. Okay, so that's that part so far. You want to see what the shock fluid looks like on the inside?
Yeah, you got some like nice white paper towel to pour it out on.
White paper towel?
Piece of printer paper.
But that's like, you got to save trees.
Happens.
So what I got over here? There is some paper there.
Gotta have the dramatic effect. Put on something nice and white. See how dirty it is in contrast.
Okay. That's weird. It's got like a black line in it. See it? That's brand new paper.
Put some oil on it.
No matter, we're putting oil on it. Yeah. Okay. So let's pop this apart first. Get the spring off of here.
I'd like to see that on the SCX line.
These caps?
Yeah, I can say I have the screw on them.
I think they are on there.
Are they on there?
Yeah, I think so.
The SCX 10 0.0 did not.
0.000.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just give you guys. Where is mine? Do that over there.
I'm gonna go look at mine.
I think your 10.3 has it.
I could go look at it.
You should go look at it.
It's like right there.
So I'm not hearing any squishy squish or sounds. Sounds good and quiet, right?
That's pretty good because shipping, you do a lot of elevation change, especially to where we are in BC.
Yeah. Now I will say there is a bit of damage on this cap now. Right there, and that's because when the arm broke, it bent back against the bulkhead up here.
Oh yeah.
So it folded back this way, so it put a scratch into there. Now, Traxxas has released colored shock caps. Look at that, it's baby blue. No. Ooh. Okay, now this is not really. This is every brand new truck is going to have this. It's the amount that shocks a lot of people. But
Oh
that
yeah.
went in and it was clear.
Give it a pump, get that stuff off the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. What is it? Is this that ASMR stuff? Now my shock shafts are not bent at all. They're in good shape.
That doesn't look too dark.
It's not too bad. It's not the right size for that. I don't have my crescent wrench down here because I haven't had the old one. That's actually only hand tight. I mean, it is plastic, so. So we'll put that there. And let me wipe this out.
That's actually pretty convenient with that screwing through the bottom.
Hey?
It's pretty convenient. You can take it off like that and
Yeah.
just stick a rag in there so you're not hitting the bottom like on most shocks, right?
Yeah, I hate the ones that taper down a lot. And then you
got to take the Q-tip down there.
So I'll run this through here and we can see if there's any scoring on the inside of the shock body. Just for shits and giggles. Because, well, there's a bit. Let's see if that's. Yep, that is. Okay, let me see. I'm going to put you guys on macro mode here.
Whoa.
Oh, you guys getting dizzy yet? Okay, so, anyway, if I do this lens.
Oh.
That one. And then, you see that white mark?
Yeah. Is that ding?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the focus for you here. I'll make it focus. 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 No, it doesn't want to focus. See that?
Yeah.
That is not a piece of paper towel.
That's probably from you breaking the arm.
I think so.
All that flex in there. Oh yeah.
This top part might be paper towel though. So yeah, other than that though, the shock body is pretty decent. It's not scoring a bunch. So that's not something I'm going to buy. I'm not going to waste my time changing that or anything. It's not worth it.
No, you're good. Fine.
We good, man. We good. I feel like a kid who had an accident in bed or something. So as you can see, as it's starting to pool out a little bit more though here, it's starting to go more clear. So there's really not a lot of debris in here for the amount of running I've done so far.
I was expecting more.
Were you?
Yeah.
Well, it's a blue anodized body on the inside as well, right? It's not like some other companies that I can tell you that pretty sure they machined them and when they machined it, they took it right off the CNC machine, assembled it, didn't bother cleaning anything out. RC4 drive.
Oh. Yeah, I think I had a problem with that with mine.
Which ones they were.
I pushed shock down and it's just kind of like crunch, crunch, crunch. It's just like
you put it down, it would go, and that's it. It would just stay there, and then you'd have to pull it apart. Junk.
Yeah.
Firm believer.
I sold mine.
Junk. Okay, so that's one shock. I'm not going to pull them all apart. You guys don't want to watch all that. Seals are all looking good. I'm just going to lightly thread it together so I don't lose any pieces here. And yeah, let's get rid of the paper towel. So if you guys see anything, nothing really that bad. It's in pretty good shape.
I was expecting to be like that gray, goopy looking.
The gray goopy stuff?
Yeah.
Remember, I still got my little bucket of that kicking around here.
Like the stuff I get.
I had some I took out of an old car that I got on trade from a guy, and it was just like sludge. Metallic sludge in the bottom. Yeah. Okay, so that's that stuff over there. They are freaking huge springs. I mean, those are big. I mean, that's my.
That is quite large,
right? And that's my 2.5 mil MIP. So, all right, okay. Let's take a look at a few other things here. I'm gonna pull these back wheels off real quick, just so I don't have so much crap flopping around. And then I am gonna grab. Don't know if I have a metal ruler here. I don't think I have a metal one.
You can check the chat to see if it's tweaked at all.
Well, I don't think it is. When you look at it, it's pretty straight. It's scratched. It's definitely scratched. But like I said, I haven't taken it to any like skate park type thing and hammered it down on top of any coping or anything like that. I haven't tried to land it on a handrail. None of that stuff.
Let a handrail do a slide.
Right? I'm hearing stories from a lot of people that are getting some of the first batch that have been like just recently here in the past couple of days. There have been several guys that I've seen that have had the rear outputs on the diffs. It's almost like they forgot to put the bearings in them or something.
Really?
Oh, they're sloppy all over the place. And guys are like, well, is this supposed to be like this? And everybody's like, no. God, I can't get that stupid blue screw out of there. Whatever. Gotta put that wheel back on there. Okay. So, okay, that one is eating dirt a little bit there, and it's starting to deglue a bit. So this is the right rear. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the chassis, I don't even think. No, there's no bend in that. There's no bend in that chassis. Not enough to waste my time trying to get a ruler for you. I mean, you see anything?
That actually looks
Pretty straight to me. Like I said, I'm not landing it on top of skate park jumps. So, all of these heads, though, a lot of these heads you're seeing some pretty good wear on a lot of the heads. They do come out from the just half a millimeter, just enough to be getting some wear on them.
Oh, so it doesn't quite.
It's not quite countersunk in. No,
It's probably because the anodizing was that little bit.
could have been. Yeah. Now, if you look here, let's try and get you guys lined up. Sorry for throwing the freaking cameras when it's got 3 lenses on. You can see right here, this bent back. This is the side that broke, right?
Yeah.
So this metal tab, this is the opposite side, which pops out, right?
Yeah.
Holds the other pin in on the other side. And I'm going to open up this front diff too, just so we can see what the diff gears are looking like. But this is bent now. This is from a good impact, but it is a straight piece. I don't know how zoomed in can I get here for you? There. See the bend back?
Yeah, I can see it. Look at this side where it should come out, where it does come out.
Yeah. So yeah, and that was. If you've watched I haven't had a chance to replay the video because I just literally did it just before coming on. That was a fairly decent impact coming hard down on one side, which broke that. This is like mad skills of driving. So yeah, I'm partially driver error, but when you're bashing trucks around, there's bound to be driver error. So
yeah, just gotta cock the wheels just right, give it a little rev.
Yeah, which I didn't do.
Which you didn't do.
Well, I kind of did. Do that, but it's like we're talking like 30 feet up above you is where it was landing.
You can't even see it.
Well, you could see it go up, but it was kind of hard. Like if it went up and back a ways, you couldn't really see when it was going to hit the ground. You could see whether it was flat or not. And I kind of thought that I was closer to the ground than I was, and then when it tweaked, it kept on going forward like this more.
And one wheeled it.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing I've noticed with this thing running it quite a bit is it does have a tendency to kick. It really likes to kick off of bumps really bad. And that's strictly suspension setup.
Need different spring in the back.
Yeah, it's got too much rebound on the rear. Yeah, it's just like doom, doom. So you hit a good bump or whatever, and it really wanted to kick over and do a wheelie or do a nose stand on you all of a sudden. So, but yeah, what I was talking about with people saying that they're having problems with this part here is not. It's almost like the bearings are blown out on them. It's on some customers that are getting them. None of ours, but some. But I'm going to pull apart this entire front bulkhead here because I got to get into that steering servo saver anyways.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
So did Scott pick his up today?
I picked it up yesterday, actually.
Nice.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting. Actually, he's out. He was out with Tim today, bashing on it. I'll just leave this all assembled, actually.
So might be El Dedo by now.
He doesn't really beat on his stuff that bad.
No,
he goes a little easier on things, and
but then you got bad influence Tim.
he does have bad influence Tim with him. Yeah, you're right.
Check this out. Oh, I can do that too. Oh,
yeah.
wait.
But you can't do this. Smash! You were right. I can't do that.
There's no love. Tim just has no love.
Oh, that one's in it. This is one of the ones I had to loosen on for.
You got to throw a wrench on your wrench.
Oh, dude. You got freaking kidding me.
Did you just break it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Just split it.
I just split it.
Oh.
You know, that pisses me off with these things. Good thing I got another company's.
That's when you take the stock when you put wrench through the holes. It gets extra grunt on it.
Well, look at that.
And that one's not broken.
Didn't break the associated one. Broke the MIP one though. Not very impressed. You guys witnessed it. I wasn't really turning it that hard.
You didn't even put a wrench on it yet.
No.
Can't remember which size fits on there nicely, but you put the wrench over top of the screwdriver and really get some mechanical advantage.
It's 3/4, I think. I think it's 3/4. Might be nice mechanical advantage, but I don't think they're going to promote that, considering I just split one
by hand
with my bare hands. Because yeah, dude, I work out. Yeah.
Well, I broke my tire wrench one, and I was just doing my on-road cars.
Your on-road cars, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are going to watch me do this, and you're going to cringe. I don't have a wrench for this.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Oh, God. There we go.
I cringed.
I hate it when they do that, myself. I despise companies that put nuts on the backside without there's too much stuff in the way to get onto the backside of it easy. I don't like it.
That's why I've got like 3 or 4 different types of stock wrenches that come with random cars. Because they got like the jaws in different spots on them.
Yeah.
Especially for that 5.5.
Come on. Pop this guy out and see. Holy man, come on, get out of there. Get out of there. What is holding that in? What is holding that in?
Like this thing here. This wrench.
Tim says he has care but no love.
Yeah, this wrench here came with my OFNA.
Oh,
the only thing I have left from it.
Good old OFNA. There we go. Good old OFNAs.
Oh, I see all the comments now.
Are you seeing them?
Now I'm seeing them.
Now you're seeing them.
Now I see them. Oh, I just saw that first one from before the show. 452.
Yeah, before we even got on. There's that one guy who always comments before anybody's even there. Oh, look at that.
So, Scott, what did you think about the...
Did you break it?
No, he said it's good for now. For now.
Holy man, I don't know why that doesn't want to pop out. What am I hitting? Oh, I see what I mean. Damn it, I got to get the pin out first.
You're doing it wrong.
No, yeah. Okay, you're right. I'm doing it wrong. But the other side came apart so easy.
Half it was gone.
Because the pin was broken. This one, on this side, I actually got to get this pin to come out of the A-arm, which it is not wanting to do. Because because the way the A-arm is shaped here,
Oh, it
so
hits the case.
it's hitting the case. It's hitting the diff housing on the inside. What's broken? Come on, dude. You've been here longer than anybody. You were here before Aaron. You should already know what's broken.
You were there before
This
anybody.
pin broke when I landed it like a dumbass. And I also broke that A-arm right where the pin goes through. So I busted on this side, and it's nice and pretty on that side. So, but yeah, there we go. Okay, we got her. Holy. Okay. Yeah, it's not bent. Yay, it's not bent. It's not bent, not cracked, not broken on this side. That's good. That's good. That's good. I have, however, not broke the body yet. The body is holding up to the champ.
Gord's got some company. That's why he's late to the show.
Ooh,
Hi,
look at
Gord's
this.
sister.
There is some play forwards and backwards here.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. Wonder.
You break the front case on this one, too.
Let's open this up and see what we got.
The fire team.
When did I open up last time? It was the same one. It was the front one.
Front one. Broken. Broke the ears off.
No. And I was trying to remember when we tore this down and everybody wanted to see how much bigger the center diff was, or the diff was. And I have an assembled diff here from the fire team. Or fire team or Creighton, or can't remember which one. I think they're all the same anyways.
Well, unfortunately, I have to leave.
You got to go.
Yes.
You got that stupid homework thing again?
Well, I got a meeting with my team.
Yeah.
So we've been working on this project. And we're done all 3 parts. Now we got to do a PowerPoint presentation for Tuesday.
Gord, I don't need you to bash the piss out of this thing. I'm fine. I'm doing just fine bashing the piss out of this thing on my own. And he wasn't paying attention. Like I already said, I'm not trying to break it. I'm trying to see how the wear lasts on these.
With normal usage.
With semi-normal usage, yeah.
All right, man, if I'm meeting early, I'll switch back on.
Yeah, I'll probably be done by then anyways. I'm not going to reassemble this on this one.
No, see the parts first.
I got to get a couple of parts. And I'm going to look up and see exactly what I think I might thicken the diff fluids. I'm not sure yet.
All right, man.
Okay, catch you later.
Check back later.
Yeah. It's a fun ring. Yeah, Scott, you're right. The little rocks are a pain. The rocks that we were hitting today were roughly about the size of a kid's Nerf football. Some of the rocks that we were bouncing off today. So, is that going to pop out of there? What am I holding? What is holding that in there? Nothing. Okay, so there's the blue grease I added in last time. And there is the diff. Still feels pretty thick. The teeth are all fine. There's no abnormal wear on the teeth, but that's a good thing. And there, Our bearings are actually okay. Well, this one's got some slop in it this way. No shims or anything in here to worry about. Let's zoom in so you guys can see how the pinion's looking. Okay, so there's the pinion. So all that's blue grease. It's just like a synthetic grease I've got in there, but the pinion's in good shape. There's no broken teeth or anything in there. It's not all beat up. So that's doing good. That's too good. Oh, there we go. What? Now it doesn't want to zoom. Now it doesn't want to focus. Stupid thing. Let's change the frames. There. There. Try that. Now will it focus? Will it focus? Why won't it focus? What'd I do? Broke it. There we go. I touched the screen. Stupid me. Stupid me, I touched the screen. Stop wobbling. Gonna make you guys feel all seasick. All right, so I'm actually going to pull this right apart because I actually want to take that metal plate that's bent in there out and see how badly bent it is. So how many other people tear things apart without bothering to read the instructions at all? Okay. Do you guys want me to open up the diff and actually look in it? I'm pretty sure you're going to see that it's just normal wear. I can pop open the diff. No point if nobody wants to see it opened up. Okay. Okay. My pile of screws over here. A pile of screws, I won't remember where any of them went. There'll be a whole bunch of, what did I have? Oh, yeah, that's what that was for. Right, I remember. Okay. Now, these two. Oh, and I can mention, I have not had the body pop off once. And the entire time I've been running this, every time I've landed on its lid, on its roof, right smack down on the nose, whatever, not once has the body come off. Today in the same run when we were out running the max, the body came off probably 3 times on the max. So the body mount system they're running on this is way better than the style they run on the X Max and the Max and all those other guys. Okay. There should be big. Oh yeah, there's that big guy. That guy. You can't really see because he's underneath the mount. Oh, and for all the guys that are disappointed about it being straight, ew, I dropped it in the grease. That's gross. Ew, greasy. Yeah. For all the guys that are disappointed that all the aluminum is already anodized blue, if you buy the blue one, obviously it looks good, but it actually looks pretty decent in the red one as well. The red and blue look good together. Okay, so there's a little bit of play in here. Let's see if I can get in a spot where you guys can see it move. This is moving forwards and backwards. Hold that straight, dummy. There. Moving forwards and backwards this way. So that's on the steering linkage. On this side, it's solid. It's not moving. Oh, yeah, it's moving a little bit. This side is moving way, way more. So that aluminum bar on there with the steering link is a little bit warbly. Okay. Let's see if we're not. I got to take this whole front thing apart because I got to get to the bottom of this nut that I showed you guys earlier is coming out. Because, you know. Yeah, I know. Read the instructions, look at the. And then you guys can. Then I know how to take it apart right. Instead, I prefer doing this. Just take this part apart here, and then I'll spend the next 2 weeks trying to figure out what pieces went where. Those spun out way easier than I thought they were going to. Now, this is the steering linkage, I guess you could say. Not linkage, with the steering servo saver assembly that I'm pulling apart right now. Let's put this guy over. Okay, so that is going to be that one. Clean it before you bring it in, but then it was going to be dripping water, so I didn't want to clean it that way. See you later, Gord. Yeah, right? It's the easiest way to do it. You take it, you just start pulling things apart, and then you learn the hard way to stop being a dummy and don't do that. And then you discover what things you shouldn't have taken apart. Or you fight and fight and fight and try to get something apart, and then you realize that there was one screw you forgot. And then you get that one screw out, and you feel all proud of yourself because you got the one thing to come apart. Now, what is holding that together? What is holding that together? There's something else holding that down. It's separated there. But where's the other piece? Aha! I see it. Okay, so that's that whole assembly piece there. Now, this whole, there's the front diff. A little bit of witch's hair in there. Let's open this up and take a look and see how dirty. Pin looks in good shape. I hope you guys can see that. I'll stop moving so fast so you guys can see it now. Focus. That's the pin for the front axle or front drive shaft. I'm not going to pull the pinion out because it's in good shape. But I am going to slide this back down into it. And this is the bulkhead piece that I was talking about that I bent on the back side. So I don't know if you guys can see it here. Probably can see it now. So the one side's bent. So this side here. This side is bent. And that's the side that I broke. I broke this pin. So I'm going to pull this apart all the way and probably take this out to my vise later and just straighten it up. So not because I'm worried about it, mostly because I think it'll make reassembling this easier later because the pin will go in easier. That is all. That is the only reason. Oh yeah, once you take those screws out, you can actually start to see the gap form in there, probably being bent. So like I said, I got about 6 battery packs through this thing. None of it beating in skate parks and stuff. So I wasn't expecting to see damage like that on it. Those are some long screws, long bolts, because they're holding together this diff housing. This thing comes in 2 halves. So these screws here that are going through here go all the way through. Those suckers are long. Long. Yours doesn't turn off. You have to unplug it. I found the same thing, but I didn't. It really doesn't bother me at all because I never turn my trucks off by switching them off unless I actually plan on running it right away again. 9 times out of 10, if I'm turning it off, it's because the battery's dead and I unplug it and throw it, take the battery out anyways. So they're bent. So I got to straighten that. Just going to hand thread these back in a little bit so I don't lose pieces. Because I know I'll lose the pieces. Grease all over the place here. I love that. Nope. Of course, like a dummy, I put it in upside down. There we go. There we go. Oh, that's interesting. So these are actually keyed. So you can see it's raised on this side, it's shouldered here, and it's grooved on this side, and then it's the opposite of it on this. So this one's shouldered, this one's got the groove. So you can't accidentally put this together the wrong way. That's kind of cool. Although I don't know how you would put it together the wrong way. It's kind of flat or not flat. But whatever. Some engineer thought of that and he went, yay, I thought of something smart. Front bulkhead. I'm not seeing any damage to the chassis at all, so I'm pretty happy. Now, let's see. So there's the steering. It has a very, very slight. I'll try to get this lined up straight with you guys here. Over here. Right here. There's a very, very slight bend on this side here. It's just tweaked up a little bit. Once again, this is the same side that broke. So when that A-arm broke and everything buckled back, it kind of tweaked all of these aluminum parts a little bit. Not enough that I think it's going to be a big ordeal. Okay, so this is a lock nut for the bottom. So this was a lock nut. The part that we were noticing earlier was loose. This is like a little lock nut. It goes on the back side of this. I'm not finding anything. That might have been Loctite in there at one point because it's kind of a white powdery stuff now. And it's aluminum on aluminum, so I don't think it's corrosion from, well, plus I haven't had it long enough for it to really be corrosion, I don't think. But that thread's in there. And then if you don't like how your steering servo, if your servo saver you think is too weak, then you would tighten this guy up here and stiffen her up more to get some more action out of it. Now, I found the steering servo saver on this was fine the way it was. So I'll pull all of this apart this time, and I'm not going to reassemble it all yet anyways. Okay, so these are the towers. These 2 towers are the ones that hold all your steering mechanism, and that one's loose, and that one's loose. It's pretty easy to fix. It's just a couple screws on the bottom side, but snug them up. Snug them up after 3 weeks of running the thing. That's the reason why I'm doing a teardown on this, because it's been long enough now that I think we could actually see some wear and tear and see how it's holding up. Dog bone. No bends or anything in the dog bone. They're looking good. Not no unusual wear on the pins. Zoom in. Zoom in right, you guys. Zoom in right. Yeah, because the first time you forget to unplug the battery, then you go home and then something distracts you because everybody has that squirrel mentality. So you go home, something distracts you, you take off, go do something else, then you come back a little while later and you're like, oh no, I forgot that. So, yeah. Just going to throw that in there so I don't lose it because I'm good at losing these. That is not scratches, that's just mud. Motor mount has been dead solid. I haven't had any issues with any kind of rubbing or I would say I haven't had any problems with the gear mesh at all. Everything about the gear mesh has worked awesome. So yeah. But yeah, those are pretty wobbly. There's a bearing in the bottom there that this whole servo saver mechanism falls down onto. Funny thing, this whole steering servo saver mechanism looks oddly similar. I'm not saying they copied it, but looks extremely similar to the one that is in the Python and the Corrali stuff. Probably basing it off a pretty common, similar design. So let's pop one of these right out. Let's pop this right out so you can see. I have a sneaky suspicion that it's actually keyed to not spin in the chassis when you're trying to tighten it up, if you know what I mean. So you're pushing it down. I think it's like a square peg in a round hole. Yep, it is. So let's take you guys for a ride again here. Okay, so when you're looking in here, you can see this guy right here is keyed, and the end of this is rectangular-ish, so it locks in. Goes in there and locks. It does not want to turn easily when you're trying to tighten it up. That is super cool because I hate the ones where they just keep spinning and spinning, and all you can do is put a wrench on the backside of it and wreck things. That sucks when you have to do that because then you end up scarring it up and bending it, and everything goes all sideways on you. Can't get some good weather here. I've only ran half a battery in your truck. This is the first time out. What was the buggy that he broke the rear axle on? I can't believe I broke this thing. That's like super frustrating. MIP, come on, smarten up. You let me down, man. I had nothing but nice things to say about you. Then you let me down. Okay. Snug those up and see what we get. I'm not going to bother straightening this piece here that's got a little bend to it because I'm not really that concerned. It's not bent bad, but it is bent a little bit. There is some wear on the bottom side of this, which has been coming from stuff coming off the backside of the where is this thing? It's coming from this dude here. This thing here is rubbing up against the bottom of this, making some wear on the bottom of the aluminum. Not a big deal. Did see, so this is the front, this is the bottom skid plate piece that holds in from the bottom to the transmission. I just noticed that it actually has a crack forming right here. Not that that matters because all that's doing is bolt is shouldering in there, so it's not a big deal. Oh, my batteries are taking a beating, but I could probably put a higher grade. I'd like to find a 6-cell hard pack that would fit in here nicely. I don't like running soft cell Traxxas or anything, but it seems to be the only stuff that wants to fit in here. So that's kind of a bit of a bummer. Because the battery is getting wear marks on the side of it, even though I've got the foam in here, but y'all know. You guys all know how it works. So I can take those right out. First run out with it, second run out with it, we did break the wing. The top of the wing holder came off. It was a pretty easy fix. It actually pulled through the plastic, so that wasn't that big of a deal. So these are the steering shafts. Steering. There, leave it there. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that steering circle is toast. Can't believe how much slop there is in that. That's bad. Bad. ZD Racing DBX 10. Yep. Yeah, it's a good. I guess it's a good entry level. It's not ridiculously expensive, but it's hard to beat the big ones. The big brands, they're popular, and for a reason, everybody runs them because they know that it's just gonna probably withstand what they put it through to start with. Oh, I was going to show you guys this. Everybody asked before. So this is a diff out of a Creighton. It was Creighton Limitless. I think they're all the same. So if you guys want to see a difference here in diff size, this is the Traxxas. Okay. This is the assembled Traxxas one. This is an Arma Creighton one. A little piece of paper on it. So even when you look at the size of the size of the outdrives are massive compared to these ones. Right? And this is the one out of the, I want to say this came out of the fire team, if I remember right. So when you think about the fact they call the fire team a 1/7 scale, and this is classified as a 1/8 scale, and the size of the outdrives on here are massive compared to, this is supposed to be the bigger truck. This is supposed to be the littler truck. So they did do some pretty good research on that, and they did beef that up. And this Traxxas one feels like twice as heavy. So, of course, I gooped it all up with grease. So I'm getting it all over myself. Techno MT410. Oh, I want one of those. The biggest reason I want a Techno is because you get to build it. You build it right from the ground up. It's kind of fun. So what are you going to put in that 410 for a motor combo? You're going to run a big badass 1/8 scale combo. So this is the famous T-bar. T-bar. T for Traxxas. And it's all dirty. That's not scratches or bends. That's a mud. Because, I don't clean crap. So you guys hear my dog barking in the background? There's a cat that keeps tormenting them, driving them nuts. I'm going to buy an airsoft gun, and I'm going to mount it on the top of the Max, and I'm going to chase the cat around my yard and shoot it. Why? Because I don't like cats. Man, I can't believe how much slop there is in that. That's just disappointing. That servo. I may throw all my plans to take that thing apart and or to upgrade it and run it on 7.4 volts. I can take all those plans and throw them right out the window because, well, it might not last that long. So dirty. There's concrete in there. Max 8 with a 2200. Nice. So it's going to be a waterproof combo. Yeah, Max 8's waterproof. Yeah. Wow. So note to self. These get very full of concrete when you run the truck inside a concrete pipe for an extended period of time. It was pretty entertaining though because I'd launch the thing around, we get it spin and go, and then it would shoot out the side and launch through the air, good 10 feet, and come crashing down. Okay. That one's got a pretty good wear to it. That one I can't get to yet. So yeah, the shock fluid, like I said, if you guys watch it, you zoom back later. The shock fluid was pretty clean. The inside of the bores is pretty clean. They're not rubbing or bending. The shock shafts haven't bent, and I've launched it pretty good. Not skate park launched, but launched. Scott, I'll bring you out there. I'll talk to Wayne. I'll see if he's okay with you bringing your truck out there to run it. But he doesn't want everybody coming there. Because, well, it doesn't. It's a really cool jump. You'll probably see more of it. Oh man, that is actually concrete that's in there. Yep, that's concrete that's in there. There we go. So this back one, I don't know if you guys can see it very good here, but it's worn down right here. This is all worn, and then you get over to this side here, and it's actually worn down to the aluminum here and here. This is not supposed to be angled this much. It's kind of worn away here. So that's not a normal thing that you would encounter with it, because I don't know how many of you guys are going to find the inside of a pipe and make it rip around. The Max fit inside the pipe much better than this did. Get out of there. So much bits of concrete and sand. And I don't know if you guys tell me BX Bike Park on Sunday when Tim gets off work. Yeah, that'd be cool. I probably won't have this there. I'll bring a Max or something though. I don't know how many of you guys would actually put. I know there's an optional wheelie bar you can get for this thing. So tell me how many of you would actually put a wheelie bar on, because I personally think the wing just does just fine. It stops it just fine from going over backwards. So I don't really know if you need a wheelie bar. Just seems like one more flimsy plastic thing to break off. I'm just going to pull this apart here because I want to see how far down I wore these. Because I think I wore them down pretty good. Yeah, so there you can see right in here, it's worn right down, right through. Not supposed to be on an angle like that. It's supposed to be more squared off. So yeah, pipe, bad idea. Fun, bad idea. So nothing else in here is damaged at all, so we're good. It is wearing on the back side of the frame right here. It's kind of worn off a bit here. That's the spot that the worn spot is here. It was protecting this part. It's only wore down a little bit, not that big of a deal. Dirt. All the dirt. What else do you guys want to see me take apart here? There's not really a lot to it. It's pretty simple, and I'm not really seeing a lot of stress parts that have been overstressed or anything. The diff housing was pretty solid and put together. There is no bending happened on the front end. So this, when I broke the A-arm and everything, nothing's bent up here. This is the factory bend that's in it. Yeah, that's definitely factory bend that's in there. And the chassis plate's still flat. I could put a straight edge on there, but you wouldn't see anything, I don't think. And the motor has been ripping good. No issues, no weird noises. I did get let's take that apart. Because I did get a piece of gravel stuck in here on the backside. It did make a hell of a racket for a couple of seconds. So I'll take a look and see how this diff housing is holding up and see if that outer gear got any damage you can see when you pull it right out or not. Speed controller, ESC, I haven't had any kind of electronics issues whatsoever with it so far, even though I've switched over to these ends. And the reason I switched over to these ends is because to get 6S, I did not want to run two 3S Traxxas packs side by side because I have no need for two 3S Traxxas packs. I have 6S other packs. And I have 3S packs with either XT90s or IC5s on them. So it just didn't make sense for me to go and buy two more batteries. I have 4S battery packs for my Max and my X Max, but I didn't want to run this on 4S. I wanted to run it on 6S because, it's 6S rated, man. You had the rear shaft boot pop off. That's the only thing you've had run. I don't think you're going to find a lot of problems. I myself did not have any serious problems. Some of the issues I've had with it were just because I was a dumbass and didn't really go over it. But in the interest of actually reviewing something that comes from a factory and treating it like somebody who doesn't have a whole pile of experience, possibly, your average Joe going to go out there and go, man, that thing's cool. Is that fast? That's fast. Cool. I want one. They're going to throw a battery pack in it and they're going to go run the piss out of it. They're not going to go online and find out the do's and don'ts right off the bat. Most of these guys are just going to grab their truck and go. Oh, man, is that everything? Okay, that's the center diff. And you can barely turn it by hand. That's that thick. I can't remember if it's 2 million that's in there, I think it says on the box. Oh, the box is at the store. So the spur gear did get a rock in there, but it didn't do anything to the teeth. The teeth are all looking fine. That little bit of brown in there is actually just a little bit of rust residue from moisture. So nothing. You got rocks in the steering. Yeah, you know what? I've had a couple pebbles about the size of a quarter go in there, bounce around on the chassis and stuff, but I have not had them get stuck in the steering yet. But I could see it happening quite easily. You know what really shocks me about this is the fact that these housings, these are plastic. I'm really surprised that they made these out of plastic. Just me. I just think that's odd. I really thought that with a truck at this price point, this would be an aluminum housing or metal housing of some sort. But they are fairly large, being plastic. They're still pretty large, so it might not be a big deal. But while I have all this thing apart, I will be lubing up all the bearings, cleaning them all up, doing a complete rebuild on all the stuff that has rolling bearings and stuff if I take it apart. Because, I got to sit and wait for parts to show up. Because I don't think we have any of those parts even available right now. How crappy is that? I'm not seeing, like, you guys can see it in here. Normally, a lot of trucks with this dog bone style setup, they'll start developing, if they're a weaker metal, they'll start developing a groove in here. And it'll actually cause your dog bone to kind of seat into a groove and rattle and make a bunch of noise and racket and run like crap. But I'm not seeing any wear at all on these outdrives. Oh, wait, there's a little bit there. There's a little bit of wear on this one right here. It's kind of opened up a little bit on here. But this one here is showing none. So this one here is the front, actually. When the diff goes in, it's going to sit to the front. So the front side is actually showing, I don't know if you guys can see it. Can you see? There's a little bit of wear there. That is on the front side. And then this would be the rear side. There's a little on one direction, but not much. Surprised that there's actually any on the front at all. But that's where this seat's in here, right? And then the bone is twisting and causing wear. So one of those things you got to watch for on your axles and on your diffs, on your center drive line. The dog bones are all in good shape. They haven't done any bending or tweaking or anything. This is the top brace for the center, for the bulkhead, for the upper brace piece. And there's no cracks or anything in this at all. And I have landed this thing on its nose hard several times. Nothing's loose in there. Battery compartment. I haven't had a battery come out, and I keep on forgetting to put pins in here. I know that you can put body pins in here to hold this closed, but I keep forgetting. You can see from all the dirt and crap that's in there, that's what's ruining the soft cell pack that I've been putting in. And that's one of the reasons I don't like soft cells. I would rather run a hard pack just to protect that abrasion, right? So I'm probably going to have to go get some heat shrink tube or get some of that old battery tube heat shrinking stuff. And I will have to tighten them all up, vacuum seal them up a bit, give them a nice outer layer without making it so thick that you can't get it in here. So first, I guess second run out, we had some problems with these. All of these bolts here. You can see these. So all the bolts that are holding the links in, you got to make sure you keep these tight. These get loose very easy on both sides. They got loose. They don't get loose on the ends, but they get loose up. Everything that's attached to this bulkhead up here, the shock tower, everything that's getting attached to that seemed to work its way loose. I'd say every second run, I had to go through and snug these all up on the upper links. So, and they are Loctited, and they do have nylock nuts on the backside, little guys like that. So they're nylock nuts, but they just work their way loose. Oh, okay. I'm gonna take this battery tray out because I gotta pop this, and I have to pull this servo out so I can check and see what's going on with these gears. So battery tray, bolts. This will be 1, 2, and 3, I think. First, I gotta clean them. Okay. Now, this does have like a crazy, yeah, early adoption, no parts available. You're exactly right on that. Although I'm being assured that the parts are on the way. And they'll be here soon, they say. Oh man, I gotta take that whole thing out too. Okay, so those two gotta come out too. Crunch, 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 grind, grind, grind. Concrete and gravel and sand and other bits. Okay. I wish I had an assembly manual because I'm just realizing as I'm taking this all apart that I'm not going to remember what length bolt went in where. Whoever does. Well, Scott, I will bring maybe I'll bring the fire team out. Let's see if I got the shock tower or the shock fixed on the fire team by then. We'll go out. I'll rip the fire team while you rip your new truck. Okay, so that comes out there. Now, don't yank on it too hard because there is a servo wire going underneath. I don't know if there's an easy way to pull this out without wrecking the wire. I know for a fact that I'm going to regret doing that later on when I'm cursing and swearing to get the wire back into these clips, especially these two right here, because there's no wire room. So tune in later when you watch me curse and scream and yell at the fact that this was a dumb idea for me to take it apart. But now I can get out here and maybe I can pull this servo apart. Oh, this size. If I was gonna change the steering servo for a different steering servo, what would you guys go with? What do you think would be your go-to servo for this guy? I'm leaning towards a certain servo, but I want to see what you guys say. Now, I've looked through the parts as well, and I have not yet seen a rebuild kit or anything for this servo. So I might be out of luck on that for the time being. Yeah, it's definitely that servo has definitely got some grief. Oh, I hate companies that do that to their servos. Feed the wires in and don't make a groove so that you can get it out easy. I hate that. Okay, so I'm going to take the servo horn off the top. It does feel to me like it was put in there with there's a fair decent amount of Loctite on that, so that's good. That might not be the servo that was causing that. It could have been. Come on, get out of there. Holy dude, how are you supposed to get that out of there? Just barely does not want to fit through very easy. I can't see it going any other way unless I go all the way back to there and take the wire out the other way, just because of a Tare lack of space. I see where this is going. I'm going to have to do this the other way. Yep, I'm going to have to do this the other way. Damn you, Traxxas! Why you do this to me? Come here. Just because the wire won't fit through. Power Hobby 929 MBL. Never considered the Power Hobby. The one I've been looking at has been a Reefs 500, Raw 500. That's the one I was kind of considering the idea of trying to put in here if I was going to change up a servo. But like I said before on other videos, before I was going to not change out the servo, I wanted to try and run this one on the Traxxas BEC that's supposed to bolt in here. And that's supposed to be like a plug and play. I wanted to run it on that and then see how it goes. If it speeds it up enough and makes it better. If that's an option as opposed to buying a new servo, it'd be nice to know. Really want to see this servo, pull it apart and check the gears. But I think it might actually be the servo horn. And that's a good thing because servo horn is easy to fix. All right, channel 1. I've heard a lot of talk about the waterproofness of this truck. Can anybody actually tell me? Not expensive, good for the price. $95. So you're probably talking US. So in Canada, that's like $3,000. So I would, I'll take a look at it. Power Hobby. I can get those. Sure I can. Man, that's just a dirty, rotten trick they're playing on me here. To get this out. And I got to loosen all the hardware on the backside of this just to get to that plate. There's two. What is holding all that in? Speed controller. So there's two here. I'm going to guess it's these three. I think it's this one, and this one, and this one. I'm pretty sure these are the three that are holding in the module that holds the speed controller down. So when you get the module that holds the speed controller down out, then you should be able to pull the servo wire out so that I can pull the servo. It's pretty stupid. Pull the servo out of its mount and pull the top off of it and see if if the bearing is shot. Okay, that whole housing. Okay, there we go. Yay-ish. Okay. Dog bones in my way because I was lazy, didn't take it out. Okay, so there, if you see underneath here, here's a groove here that the servo wire runs through. So there's no way you're going to pull the head of that servo wire through there. There's absolutely no way that is going to fit through there and through the bend easily without, like, you could do it right now, sure. No, you can't. Stops right there. Stops right there. You're not going to get it past there. So you have to take this apart. You got to take this out to get this guy out. And that is so that you can do this. Stupid. Okay. Now those splines, I don't know if you guys see them. Can I zoom in here? Come here, focus. There we go. Those splines don't look damaged at all to me. And this is the servo horn. I'm just going to slip it over there. Yep, there's the problem. So the servo horn wore out. Well, not wore out, but it is wearing out. Yes, bad design. Exactly. But this servo horn that's on here is wearing out. The servo, thank God it's not this, because I really don't want to take apart the servo. I want to be able to run this. And I really do want to try this out with the BEC. So the servo is okay. It is the teeth inside the servo horn are wearing. So I'll change these out. I've got another servo horn around. I will get rid of the Traxxas one and I will put another brand on from some other company that will clamp. I won't put a Reefs one on because I have terrible luck with those, but I might put a Vanquish one on maybe if I have one kicking around. So that's always been one of the things with all the Traxxas metal servo horns that I've noticed, even the ones for the TRX4 or the 6 or any of those, all the metal ones, there's no clamping on the end. So you end up having this sloppy bit, and eventually it's going to wear out the splines on the actual servo. Then you got to get inside and open that up. Yeah, it is. I think that is premature wear to me. I think that's kind of, yeah. I mean, this was tight and it was still wobbling. But now that I have it out, I can see it is not. It is literally the servo horn on the splines. It's just a loose fit on the splines. So it's good and bad. I'm glad it wasn't the servo, but I'm disappointed that the servo horn is that weak. So, yay, not the servo. Boo, it's a servo horn. Okay, so we got that apart. Since I got this whole thing apart here, let's see where we got other bits of stuff sitting around. We don't want to have sitting around. Unplug that, unplug that, unplug that. So the mount and everything for the ESC has been decent. I have not heard any buzzing noises coming from the fan. So I think we're good there. I don't think there's any broken fan blades in there at all. Like some. There are bits of gravel in here. This little setup here, where they have the drain kind of setups here to get water out, they do nothing. They do absolutely nothing. The mud pools up, the water pools up because it's dished. So it just sits in the bottom of this tray. It has to come up and over this little rise here to get out. So I think that's kind of dumb. I don't know why they even bother putting these here. They just should have left it closed up instead of having it exposed like that, and just leave it so that there's less chance of rock and debris coming up from the bottom. My opinion. Pinion is solid and not loose, which is better than your X Maxes would be. Second run out with my X Max, my pinion came off. Good times. Didn't even get, I think I took it out of the back of the truck, put it on the ground, turned it on, did 2 full pulls through the parking lot, and then went, and that was it. And then brought it back, threw it on the bench, and said, Tim, fix this. And Tim went, okay, because I don't have the patience to fix stupid things that shouldn't have broke. But that's just me. You can ask Aaron. He'll vouch for it. I have no patience. I'm going to dump all this gravel out of here. Actually, first I'll take this one off. So I broke the A-arm. Do you think centered powdered metal? Yes, centered, whatever you want to call it. I know what you mean. Powdered metal, you're right. Exactly. It's just freaking weak. Weak and lame. Anyways, I was going to ask you guys, what do you think I should do? Should I replace these A-arms in black? Or should I go with green ones if they come in first, since my truck is green? Really depends on availability. If the black ones show up before the green ones do, then I'm going to go with black ones, of course. But I also think that they come individual, if I remember right. So then we would end up doing just the individual one arm. Get back on there, you. Get on there. Get over here. Okay. All right, that's just back together. So that's the rear. Rear one doesn't have any bend in it at all. It's good and solid. And you would think the rear one would have the most wear on the dog bones, but it doesn't appear to. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to take that. I'm going to take this out and we're going to see what this looks like on the inside, because this is usually a very high wear spot on most dog bone setups like this. So there's your out drive, and I'm not seeing a bunch of wear on that cup at all. And there's no cracks or splitting anywhere in that cup, so that's good. The dog bone itself, we'll push it through this way so you guys can see it. It does have some grease on it, so I'll have to re-grease it later. But this is, it is off center. It's not centered perfect. Hope you guys can tell, but it's actually further out. This side's further out than this side. So it's a little off center when they pressed it. Not the end of the world. Not bent. No splitting or anything on the top of this, on the ball end of the dog bone. And that's cool because I know Tim is having all kinds of issues with his Max blowing up them. Wasn't super happy about that. And the cup has held its own. I'm just going to throw this pin back in here so I don't lose it, because it's going to be a few days before I get the parts, I'm sure. And in typical fashion, I won't leave it all sitting on the bench, and it will end up in a box. Tupperware Rubmaid bin, nuts and bolts flying all over the place, and I won't remember where anything went. Okay, so I'm going to shake this off, get all this dirt out of here. The dirt guards are doing good on the back. The A-arms are taking a pretty good beating right now. Like I said, I've been running in some pretty rough gravel. Like the sharp broken gravel, not rounded rough gravel. So that's these arms, you kind of expect them to take a little bit of a beating. Black with green inserts. That is exactly what I was thinking, actually, you know, because I think that would just set it off nicely. Black with green inserts, I think would even show nicely. It's just like if you look on the nose. So I've nosed this in quite hard several times, and you can see the scratches on the top of it here. This piece is replaceable, and so are these pieces. And I believe these pieces back here. So you can color match all these. So I think I'm probably going to swap these all out because you can see where they bolt in. When this gets bad enough, I'm probably going to swap this all out and put the bright green ones in because I think they look cool with the body with the bright green. I won't do that with the rub rails on the roof yet until they're actually worn down enough to make it worth it. But like I said, there's no cracking or anything in this body. I did cut the nose up here. I cut the nose out because it was getting hooked on that front bumper piece. Where is it? This guy. So that's the front bumper, right? And it kind of sticks up, and it was scooping. It was getting caught. I can show you guys. Camera's at a bad angle. But it was getting caught like this underneath, and it was holding it back like this. So I just cut it so that it's here. That was, I'll look up the name. It was one of the guys you guys commented on one of the videos just to cut it. And then I thought about it after looking at it, and I went, yeah, that's a pretty freaking good idea. I'm going to do that. Well, what else do I want to take apart on this? How deep do I want to go? I am going to pull apart the rear diff and lube it up and everything. Because I pulled apart the front and I greased it, and I know the rear did not have as much grease. Because I haven't touched it yet, so let's see if I can get to it here. So in my opinion of the wear and tear on this thing, I think that it's holding up pretty decent. I have some other trucks that haven't even made it. Haven't even made it across a freaking grass field. It's really funny when you talk to a rep from a distributor and they ask you, how did your demo truck run? And your answer to them is, it didn't. And they go, oh, really? What do you mean? Yeah, it didn't. It didn't run at all. It broke. The body's still shiny and clean because it hasn't even flipped over once yet. That is a bad thing. Corrally. And yeah. Okay, so I'm going to pull this apart and then we'll call her a night because we're already 2 hours in. Didn't think it was going to be that long. But I'm going to pull this apart and take a look at this rear diff real quick and see what kind of shape it's in. And then we can call her if I can get this apart. Maybe I spoke too soon. Do I really have to take those apart to get that out? Shouldn't have to. I didn't have to do the front apart. Of course, I was doing it without the wing in the way. Oh, there's my arm. Everything's crashing and falling because I have too much crap on the workbench. There. Come out. There we go. That's a pretty pathetic amount of grease in there. That's it. That's all there is for grease in there. Pretty pathetic. My grease job, their grease job. Not enough. Not enough grease. Ooh. You can see this here. There's some play on that bearing now. That's actually the inner race. The inner race is coming loose on the actual shaft itself. So that's probably the play that this might be a part of the play that a lot of people are complaining about lately. Yeah, great for 100 feet. But on the flip side of that, the Corrali's not wanting to run for me very good. The Python, that ran good for about, it ran good until I landed it on one wheel and it broke the I'm trying to break. Well, broke the front pillow block. But the Skedder, man, we beat the hell out of that thing and it still hasn't broken. Well, okay, that's not entirely true. There's the front bumper from it. Like literally the thinnest freaking plastic you could ever think of to mount a front bumper. And then it just basically ripped right out where the mounting holes are and gone. And then this was the single wheel wheelie bar. And Tim's like, hey, you lost your wheelie bar. I'm like, oh, I guess I did. But who needs wheelie bars, right? So I've still been running it since then. Yeah, I'm not very impressed with that. That the bearing is pretty damn loose. This side's not so bad. It's got a little bit of play, but not much. Not like this side. That's a lot of play. So I'm gonna change out that bearing because I have it apart, so I might as well. But I shouldn't have to change out that bearing after, only 3 weeks of running it, roughly. But whatever. Is what it is. The center diff bearings are solid. They're not loose. But the rear diff, I got to re-grease it up good too. So it's definitely a way thinner fluid that's in there than there is in the center diff. The center diff, this is next to impossible to turn. Like you can turn it, but that hurts. So there. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to call her a night for that because now I have a workbench full of parts, and that's always a good way to finish off a night. And we're 2 hours in, and I don't have the parts to put it all back together yet because I didn't know what was actually going to need to be done. So next time you see this, it'll all be slapped back together, and it'll be jumping off of great big huge dirt piles again. All right, man. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. And let's move this. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. And next Friday, same thing. I don't think I'll be working on this guy. I think next Friday. Comment in the comments and tell me if you want to watch me build. If you want to see this get built, or do you want to see you guys want to see this get built? You want to see this get built? Then comment mud. And if you guys want to see this get built, comment BRX. That is what I have here. Yeah, the center diff is 20 mil, you're right. That's why it's so thick and hard to spin. Yeah, make sure you guys comment. Let me know which one you want to see me build. If I don't see any comments, I'll just decide for myself. Just checking these rear hubs. They're not loose. I'm just complaining about them being loose. There's the dog bone. It's actually pretty beefy. Yeah, I don't even have that camera on anymore because I'm a dummy. Come here. You go there. There's the center dog bone. Or the rear axle. They're pretty beefy. Not bent, though. Not bent. Okay. You don't know what the BRX is. BRX-01 is a rock crawler. Let's show you a picture. That's what it is. Let me get this reflection out of the way and you guys can see it better. That's what it is. That is the BRX-01. It does not have the body. This is strictly the chassis. But I could have put it all together. I have a body that I'm painting up and doing for it. And this little Mud Max, this is just a stupid little Tamiya wheelie thing that's kind of goofy, and I wanted to build one because I thought it looked cool. So eventually I'm going to build this one on one of these streams. So I'll stay tuned and watch the comments. You guys can comment anytime you want later on. And the BRX, so the BRX-01 is the first generation from Boom Racing of their own personal chassis that they came out with. They have now recently released the BRX-02, which has a few changes in some different configurations, but I have this BRX-01 that's been sitting here taking up, collecting dust because I just haven't gotten to it. So I decided these bench wrenching sessions would be a good time to build one or something, right? So, all right, guys. So thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you guys next week. Tune in on Wednesday for bench talk, and Friday for bench wrenching. And stay tuned. I'll show you guys. I'll be editing up the video of the jumps that broke this truck tomorrow, or maybe the next day. Should come up this week or this weekend. Yeah, they're all going to be fun. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one, and see you next week.